Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Monday, November 19th, 11 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. You're looking at Fuego entre en Eruption. Take a look. Amazing Strombolian type lava fountaining. Thousands flee. Now, this volcano killed more than 100 months ago. And as cosmic rays reach an all-time high in your lifetime, and the KP index was at 0 for days in a row over the last 4 days, the result is the heating of siliceous magma in the subsurface. And that's a boom, as we predicted. The facts don't lie. There are more effects of these cosmic rays, and we'll get to them. Not only that, we have groundbreaking evidence that the Preparedness map is true. The equator has shifted 30 degrees, and this is coming from the mainstream, corroborating the esoteric information. Welcome to the effing awesome classroom. Check out the stratospheric radiation. Up, up, and away, folks. And with it brings cloud nucleation, global cooling, epic flooding, atmospheric compression, and volcanic activity. And now we're even believing that cosmic rays may cause the swelling of the earth, triggering major volcanic or major earthquake activity. The earthquakes are triggered by the growing planet. Not only that, we have evidence at the end of this podcast to suggest, coming from the mainstream, corroborating older information, that the equator has shifted. And that ancient man, over 12,000 years ago in Nazca, and the Nazca lines are actual Mercator projection lines on the Earth that all project their way across to the other side of the globe to Angkor Wat, in an ancient mapping project that is 13,000 plus years old. And the evidence that we will present will show the equator has rotated 30 degrees from its current position, and that southeast Alaska was once at the North Pole. And very recently, we're recovering from KP0, coming off of that long period of cosmic ray flux, and we are going into a period of space weather. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. Let's talk about global cooling. You're looking at the November temperature analysis anomaly from the 1st to the 18th, and it's showing minus 4.1 Fahrenheit. One of the coldest Novembers ever in the lower 48. Ever recorded in history. Which is going to continue the trend of the temperature of Earth dropping off. I would imagine we will be at baseline for November or lower. Which is almost a degree C in 3 years. Record cold Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day is currently forecast to be frigid in the Northeast, making the coldest Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade in history. In fact, only 3 years featured low or high temperatures colder than the current forecast, and that's 1921 and 1927. Right before the Great Depression. For New York City, and those were a long time ago, 1876, 1882, 1901. Adding high winds Thursday afternoon, AccuWeather real field temperatures will be below 0 in interior New England. Single digits in Boston, and in the teens in State College, Philadelphia, and New York City. Some record temperatures will be set. Yeah, you think? This is Ryan Maui. Frozen turkey for Thanksgiving. Weather service forecast trending even colder for Thursday now. Now 25 to 30 Fahrenheit below normal. We will set records. New Jersey weather, record-setting cold, slight snow chance in Thanksgiving week forecast. Wintry Monday night through Tuesday, slippery roads. Thanksgiving travel disrupted. We got a wintry mix up through the I-95 corridor. And if you're towards the Great Lakes, it'll be snowing. And there's a heavy band through the center up through Portland. Say it ain't snow, but it's true. It's falling everywhere in the Northeast. Thursday could be the coldest Thanksgiving on record in Boston. There's a lot of weather activity headed our way over the next several days, including the coldest Thanksgiving on record. Snow potential, 2 to 4 inches inland. Mainly rain on the coast. Bitter cold in the east. Wind chill Thanksgiving morning. -10. Are you kidding me? Ow! I had to. Snow moves in Tuesday. Record cold expected for Thanksgiving. For all of Massachusetts. It's the talk of the town. Frozen turkey. Storms will hit most of the West this week. It was the Northeast that grabbed the headlines last week with multiple storms, breaking records. Coming up for the Thanksgiving holiday week, it will be the West that will see multiple systems with 12 plus inches of snow for many areas. As we predicted days ago, then on Thanksgiving Day, 100 ski resorts are going to be packed with millions of skiers. Grand Targhee in western Wyoming, just one of the mountains that recently started spinning lifts for the season. They received 5 inches on Saturday, and the mountain already looks like winter. And we're a month away in the lower 48. The storm track will change from last week with snow falling across most of the western U.S. and Canada during the upcoming week. California and Utah will likely see their first significant burials. Yeah, the facts are in. 20 to 30 inches predicted for the Sierras through Friday the 23rd. And then from the 24th to the 25th, snow will continue to fall in heavy amounts through the entire Rocky Mountain front, the entire Rocky Mountain West, and the Sierras, the Olympics, and on and on. Extended forecast for the week after Thanksgiving is uncertain. However, it's looking chilly in Florida and the Southeast. Texas, it's not over. Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, you're in the bullseye. Monday, the 26th of November through Friday the 30th. And I'm going to be out here in the desert here, Monument Valley. It's going to be hot. Check out Open Snow. They rock. Thank you, Joel Gratz. Let's get to the nonsense. Climate change is going to make life on Earth a whole lot worse. Report predicts. This report comes out of Hawaii. I want you to read the article. It's total nonsense. And you know what they did? They planted 1,000 trees in Hawaii. Yeah. The university began a challenge to try to encourage people to plant trees to offset their energy use. And they planted 1,000 trees. Well, I planted 5,000 trees in the last 3 years on my home property. And so their 1,000 trees, I'm not buying it. It's a pile of crap. There's not even a paper linked. But we're all going to burn up and die from Lyme disease and Nipah virus and Hanta infections, deadly red tides. No one will be able to breathe. Temperature's going to rise 100 degrees and the sea level's going to flood all the cities, according to this article. Like a terror movie, how climate change will cause more simultaneous disasters. This is coming out today. And now this is actually based on a paper. Where's the paper? Please give it to me. Here's the paper. Now this paper is a fraud. This is published in a journal, Nature Climate Change, today. Look at all of the authors. No one wants to be responsible for this lie, so they put 50 names on the paper. And the first sentence calls out the fraud. The ongoing emissions of greenhouse gases is triggering changes in many climate hazards that can impact humanity. That sentence is untrue. There is no evidence that greenhouse gases can even affect any of the climate, unless it's water vapor. Now they're talking CO2, which is 0.035% of the atmospheric greenhouse gases. 0.035% total. And man contributes 1/10 of that annually. The rest is natural from Gaia. There's no way to delineate it. This is how insane this paper is. This paper is a complete farce from the first sentence. 0.035%, 1/10 of that, does not affect the climate. It's impossible. Thermodynamically, mathematically, physically, and logically. And yet, they publish a paper, Nature Climate Change can suck it. It's a fraud. It's a complete rag. It's not worth it. You shouldn't even wipe your ass with that paper. And this is another fearmonger piece of crap that does nothing. All it does is scare the shit out of you, and it doesn't tell you what to do to prepare. Pay your taxes and be the bitch that you are. Here are the facts. You want to see some more insane facts? Let's go back all the way to the 24-hour model. And we'll just run it through. This is 10 days out, and it's showing snow in Mexico once again. Moving into Mexico. Over a month out from winter, there's the heavy snow you need in the Sierras right there. Nice. But they continue to print this alarmist garbage to tell you that we're all burning up while snow is falling in Mexico, South Texas. It's a month from winter and the entire southern Appalachians have snow. The people here in the mountains are going to be scared. They are prepared. But the obvious ruse that the mainstream is pushing is disgusting. 50 inches here in the Wyoming-Idaho border. They're going to be buried. Coastal snows continue, and then heavy record snows in Vermont and New Hampshire and eastern Maine, or western Maine, are predicted towards the end of November, right after Gobble Gobble Day. Record snows. Look at that clipper. It's a month away from winter, and there could be 4 feet of snowpack in Vermont. California fires rain to bring fresh misery as evacuees flee makeshift camp. Fear of mudslides and flooding are causing volunteers and displaced residents to leave an impromptu tent city near Paradise. 80 dead, 1,000 missing. And it's all just blending in with all the rest of the nonsense. It's not real. It's like a movie. As cosmic rays reach all-time highs, wreak havoc on the planet through weather systems. Georgetown evacuated after mass derailment of multiple car. This is a frack gas. We used to call these bomb trains when I did my activist work with Acorn back in Philly. Action United. Heads up. Now, they used to send these trains with natural gas and dangerous materials right through the poorest neighborhoods, just like this one, on the crappiest infrastructure, all about to fail. And they knew it, and it didn't matter because they didn't care if those people died. Now, luckily here, nothing blew up, but they don't care. They'll do it again. They do not care about you. They're not helping you, and they're not coming for you. Chicago hospital shooting after days of KP0. Another mass shooting. People can't handle that type of space weather. Some of us rise to the occasion, others don't. Tropical depression Toraji drops heavy rain, claims 12 lives, totally fluxed in Vietnam. This is because of cosmic ray flux as well. Flash floods and landslides have destroyed villages and washed out roads, killing at least 12 in central Vietnam over the weekend as tropical depression Toraji is exacerbated by space weather. KP0 for days, causing atmospheric compression. Clouds like never seen before moved into the country from the South China Seas. Leftovers are expected to continue to drop heavy rain in the southern part of Thailand by Wednesday, November 21st. The fluxing will not stop. It will continue to increase the rest of your lives. Seismic update. We have a lot of motion in Greece today. 5.3 was a downgrade. 5.3 in Indonesia, 5.4 in Papua New Guinea, 5.1 in Vanuatu, 5.0 in Tonga. We had major activity here on the west coast. We had a 5.1 that they downgraded to 4.8 earlier on the southern San Andreas. 4.1 designated place Washington. .0 in Japan. And we have a quake way up here, north of Svalbard, which they do not want you to see. It's gone before your very eyes. It has disappeared. Another aftershock, 2.6. "17 minutes in, thousands flee as Guatemala's volcano erupts. Fuego." We opened with it. Almost 4,000 people have been evacuated from the slopes of Fuego volcano in Guatemala. There they are. Lava spewed from the volcano, giving it an orange glow at night. It was quite the fright. We're about to see Krakatoa, which is about to blow up as well. Fasten your seatbelts, kid. We're just getting started. It looks like a movie set. Bombastic, Mr. Fantastic. We're going to head over to Krakatoa, aka Krakatoa, which, if you didn't know, we've been reporting on over the last several days, is about to blow up. And check out what it did 48 hours ago. You're going to enjoy this.
It's open from the side.
Look at those pyroclastic bombs. They're gigantic. Thousands of pounds. Some 10,000 pounds. 5, 10 tons. This volcano is increasing in size, strength, and magnitude, and I can prove it to you. There is a debris field on the flank here of large boulders. And in fact, a gigantic boulder gets ejected 48 hours ago and sits on the flank. It weighs about 500 tons. Look at the large debris field at the rim of the volcano when we come back down into view. This is evidence of extreme uptick in a cinder cone volcano. There they are, large blocks. All these large blocks are indicative of an uptick in major activity, as well as the ridge forming here on the edge of the cinder cone with large blocks. Now, look at this block here on the edge of the volcano that's going to reveal itself. And another explosion. Boom! Ow! Look at the size of this block.
This one is coming, I think. A little bit open, I think. It's coming lower than the crater, I think now. A little bit.
I'll leave you links. Amazing footage. Give them a thumbs up, subscribe. We use them every day. Bear with us, 22 minutes, 21 seconds in. Volcanoes, they's exploding. No truer words have been stated. And that's a boom. Rare pictures of P38 Glacier Girl excavated from under 250 feet of the Greenland ice sheet. It's a labor of love. It still amazes us how dedicated some people are to the restoration of vintage warbirds. However, it's mostly mind-boggling that an airplane that was set down on the Greenland ice sheet in 1947 would be under 250 feet of ice. 1942. Under 250 feet of ice if the Greenland ice sheet was melting away. Boom! Come check out the article. It's insane. Greenland's melting away, and in 50 years, 250 foot of ice covered a plane. True polar wanderer may have caused the ice age. Paper coming out today. Absolutely breaking. Earth's latest ice age may have caused the changes deep inside the planet. They're talking about a mantle plume that caused the rotational pole to shift 30 degrees. Now, I'm going to just cover this lightly tonight because it is deep, and I'm going to make a separate video tomorrow on the topic for you all. But what this what this article purports, and the paper associated with it. Now, what they used is the hotspot here in Hawaii to determine a shift in the axis of the Earth. And it occurred quite recently. In fact, based on the data that they proposed, the North Pole was somewhere near southern Alaska just 13,000 years ago. We're taking these hot spots as marked trackers of plumes that come from deep inside the mantle. And we're using that as our reference frame. So this is very interesting for a number of reasons. The current North Pole is right here where I'm pointing. It was here maybe just 13,000 years ago. That is a massive shift. Now, the time frame for that shift is very important, because if it happened instantaneously, that would be catastrophic to the globe. The global flood and all these other stories would be corroborated by a rotational pole shift. Now, the esoteric information gets us even deeper. Now, what it shows us, and I'll leave you links to this video that's down on our page here, the equator at 12,500 years ago. Now, if you take Nazca and you follow the Nazca lines out like Mercator projection lines, they meet on the other side of the Earth at a very well-known megalithic site called Angkor Wat. So the Nazca lines meet on the other side of the globe at Angkor Wat. Now, this is significant because if you don't know about the Preparedness map, it shows Antarctica without ice. And if ancient people 13,000 years ago or longer were making a Mercator projection map actually on the Earth, the Nazca people, they knew about the people in Angkor Wat as well, because they were making the temples in Angkor Wat. Now, this is very significant, because what it does is it shifts the equator based on megalithic information to a new spot. And this new equator is the exact equator that a new paper just calculated, where Alaska is at the North Pole, North America is way north and under a sheet of ice. There's the new North Pole. And so this is mind-blowing information. And this new equator goes through all of the major megalithic sites that you know of. Giza. Machu Picchu's there. Göbekli Tepe. They're all on the ancient equator. 12,500 years ago, it was in a different place. And all these megaliths were on the equator. So let's just run through some of them. Ollantaytambo, Peru. I'm sure you guys have watched shows about that. It's on the equator, 12,500 years ago. Let's just go through here. Oh, what's that? What are you looking at? Easter Island? The Moai are on the equator? No, this has just got to be a hoax. There's no way that it could be this easy. That the megalithic information that all of us esoteric, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists have been working on is true. The ancients were warning us with their sacred geometry that the pole's shifting. Or they wanted to tell us where the pole was so that we would be aware that it shifted. What you're looking at is the bottom of the ocean on the ancient equator. And there is a giant spire. on the ancient equator. Right there. Someone please, if you're a billionaire, take us something out there. Yeah. Moving along. Bear with us. It's worth it. This is the ancient equator 12,500 years ago. Antarctica was ice-free. All of the megalithic structures are on this equator. Makes complete sense, or near it. Anchor Watt. Pack your bowl, smoke your pot. It's true. We are uncovering Cairo, right on the equator. In fact, wait till you see this. Wait until you see this. It lines up with the exact edge. The exact edge of the pyramid is on the equator 12,500 years ago. This is now being corroborated by mainstream science this month. Do you feel the same tingles up your back that I do? You should. The Eye of the Sahara is just above that, in Mauritius. And here we are back again in Ollantaytambo, in Peru, where the unexplainable megaliths are again exactly on the equator. But it's all just a coincidence, kids. There's nothing to see here. Nothing at all. Absolutely insane. Come check out the video. I can't make it up. Doom star in the Milky Way threatens a rare gamma ray burst. That's all we need. We got cosmic rays, now we got gamma rays. This is an image of APEC captured 8 microns in the thermal infrared with VISIR camera on the European Southern Observatory VTL telescope. University of Sydney astronomers working with international colleagues have found a star system like none seen before in our galaxy. Where have I heard that before? Guys, the true polar wander has been confirmed. The equator has shifted 30 degrees. The North Pole used to be in Alaska recently, and all the megaliths were on the equator. It makes sense. The Preparedness map. Antarctica was 40 degrees south latitude. There was no ice on it. Check out the links. Mind-blowing night. 4,000-year-old termite mounds can be seen from space. We just discovered these. We don't even know what's on the surface of the Earth. I just blew your mind about the equator. And I'm about 90% sure that what I just showed you is true. And we also just found 4,000-year-old termite mounds that we couldn't see until we burned the trees off to plant GMO crops. We should all be bearing arms and fighting back against the systems that are enslaving us. They're keeping you dumbed down. They don't want you to know that you're an eternal being. You've been here forever. You're infinite. They want you as a slave as long as possible until they retreat back into their catacombs to gain strength once again and do it all over. Sad. Sad world we live in. But a beautiful planet. If we could only break free of the chains that bind us. We're at KP2 finally, still coming up, and there is a good chance of aurora tonight. Why do I say that? Look at the plasma speed spiking as we did the video. Temperature is up, and I bet you the aurora map is off the chart. Yes, it is. Take a look, kids. Go outside if you're up in Canada. We're in a little bit of a proton event here on the 3-day satellite event. So we could go up to KP3 in the next 3 hours. I don't think we'll get much higher than that. But let's take a look at the aurora map. Ontario, good viewing. Up north. Manitoba. Eastern Canada. And if you're in Iceland, heads up! Probably an amazing evening right now. We are entering a grand solar minimum. The next 3 years will be the solar minimum of cycle 24, and your lives will change in ways that you cannot imagine. The time is now to start preparing to survive and thrive in the changing times. They're going to be unlike anything that we've lived through for thousands of years. Systems will collapse. It will be gradual. There may be some major catastrophic events, but that's not really going to tip it. It's going to be a cacophony of events layered one upon another that slowly degrade the infrastructure until it is incapable of recovering. So grab your favorite beverage, get your favorite fishing pole, and learn how to be self-sufficient once again. The time is now. The booms are coming. Volcanoes, they's exploding. We love each and every one of you. The information in the scientific community that we're part of is putting the pieces together before your very eyes and before your very lives. It's happening rapidly. It's called the quickening. Google it. Before you know it, we will know so much information. Your mind will explode along with the volcanoes. We love you. Be safe. See you in the desert.